In this edition of the BCA Club School of the Month, we visit the Barbados National Oil Company, known as BNOC. There's so much to learn. We are excited. This is B. It's indeed a pleasure to be here at the BNOC ground in Woburn, St. Philip with Anthony Morris. How are you doing?
I'm fine. A little pain in the neck, that at this age now is a little pain and aches when I'm playing, but otherwise, pretty good.
Well, you have a love for cricket. You started back at St. Matthias Boys many years ago, went on to the Lodge School, and they also believe on to the O level, and then a number of other clubs. Give me a recap of your experience coming through, let's say, even the Lodge School and the O level institute. I believe you guys would have won one of those competitions.
Yeah, I started on Lodge School, the under 15, that day they called it Ronald 3. And then, played the second division intermediate there. But then when I left, I went to play some BCL cricket, actually at Randy View. And being there, some scouts saw me and then took me at the hill to BET at the time. So then I played at BET for most of my career. I know that eventually name changing from BET, came on Wireless, Lime, Flow. Actually, it's called Gladiola now, but before Gladiola came about, we were at the Wildy venue. But then, the different things, the building closed down and the ground closed up, and we had to move. So with that move, we joined the BNOC club, which were the older guys, because we pretty much were finished with first division at that stage of our careers, because both of us were over 40 years old. So the younger guys went on who continued to play first division, they formed the Gladiola club. And that's pretty much how it went from there when we joined the BNOC family.
With the BNOC family, I believe it would have been maybe around 2016 that you joined this group. But give me an idea of the passion you have for cricket, because I know that you are very much involved with Playmasters, involved in all types of organizing of cricket. How has that journey been?
It was an exciting journey. It's still going on. I guess that's what's probably keeping me fit and still playing the game today. Since I became a master, I actually play more cricket than when I was young. Because I have the over 40s that starts like in January, and then the BCA season starts. When that is finished, like around April, May, and then it's a whole year of cricket all up to November, sometimes going into December to make the playoffs. And now I actually formed my over 50s tournament as well, which is probably my brand. And actually I'll be celebrating 5 years next year, that tournament as well. And that is actually for the guys over 50 years old, because after making a lot of tours and stuff, I realized the guys that still want to play club cricket, for them to continue to play, they got to have something on we call it a level playing field. Because it's really hard at this age playing every weekend against younger guys our age and still keeping fit and being able to play. So I said, bring a competition in that age group with guys at that age group on a level playing field. And it worked out pretty well, because now we are able to actually go away and play Masters tournaments and stuff that is really kicking off now around the world for guys in that age group.
It's indeed a pleasure to be here with Brian Johnson. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks, Leslie. Doing good. Enjoying the weather, no? Not as much rain as before.
Yeah, because we had a lot of rain over the last few weeks. And Brian, you would have played cricket for many years, and I know from watching you back over the years, you had a ground here at BNOC where you could hit sixes in two parishes, either St. Philip or Christchurch. How has your journey been in terms of those power hitting days coming through the ranks and now here at BNOC?
Well, I think it will have to be a quick scale probably here to get to Christchurch. It's still pretty far for me. As I say, I'm now going at the other side of the curve. So the power hitting might not be as before. Luckily, BNOC is probably one of the, you can say, slightly smaller grounds where it's probably easier to hit a straight six. So I still get away with a few.
Yeah. You came through the Lodge School, went into club cricket in Barbados for many years, and would have been part of an energy and what I would say a culture of cricket. Break time, lunchtime, probably at Lodge School, whatever time you found to play. You have gone now from being a youth into more experienced person. What has that shift been in terms of when you observe how the younger players becomes club cricket?
It is quite different. I think when we played club cricket, about school cricket, basically, we had a lot of help from our peers and the staff. When I played at Lodge, especially intermediate or second division, we had at least 2 masters playing with us who would help us. We had Newton, groundsman, Crawford, Mr. Cochrane. We had quite a few. Even Mr. Fingal used to play a couple of times, and they help us quite a bit, both mentally and in terms of the technical side of the game. Watching the schools, playing against the schools now is quite different. Sometimes I see the 11 players out there that don't have any direction. The masters or whoever might be at the side trying to give directions, but they really need to be out there with the guys, and it is quite disappointing, playing cricket now and seeing more schools than usual getting beat in one day. It was quite unheard of in our days. You might get a one-off here a school getting bowled out for 1 or something. So, but then again, that's against a BT attack. So,
Of course, yeah.
those things would happen now and then, but quite often now, you're just hearing schools falling up a day and a little piece and so on. I think there's something that the Sports Council, probably to the BCA, have to look at in order to get our cricket strong from a school level. Second, intermediate. My thing is that if the school is not strong enough, probably they should combine. But I don't think it do them any good going out there and getting beat so often and so quickly.
Understood. Well, tell me a little bit about the Barbadian part aspect of it, meaning coming through the O-Level Institute, as you said earlier, coming from school into club. What are some of the names of persons who would have come through and are here at BNOC now with you?
Okay, when we left the Wildy venue and came to BNOC, the guys that would have come out here from that team, you would have the former first division guys like Brian Johnson, Ron Bates, Ronald Maxwell, Ronnie Gittings, Belzy Straker, Dave Eswick. Pretty much 11. We actually bring 11 here first division guys that could play the cricket. So we actually bring a team that instantly made the BNOC team a competitive team in the lower division. And at that time, they were playing second division cricket. And in that first year, we got to the semi-finals. And we lost I think Brayton. Brayton got promoted then to the intermediate. And it only took us 2 more years before we actually won the second division and got the team to the intermediate. And also William Lashley, I can't forget my spin train at the other end.
Yeah.
So we are a pretty decent formidable team in the lower division, despite our ages.
And in terms of formidable team, I mean, not just the fact that you're a right-arm off spinner and a batsman, but you've had a situation where you've made it into the playoff section this year of the BCA competition. How has the season gone in terms of your competitive nature, and how are you looking forward to doing in those playoff games?
I would say we have a fantastic season. When you look at where you have 2 teams, intermediate, and obviously I would mention a bit about them as well. They were actually 1 win away from making the playoffs in the intermediate. Unfortunately, the rainfall in the last day of that game at the psychiatric, where they were in a very good position. Had they won that game, they probably would have qualified to the intermediate playoffs. Well, the second division, we made it. We're actually in the finals right now for the second division. And we were pretty confident in that going into that game with the team that we have, that we could go all the way and win it.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And then coming up that day, so obviously I see a lot of happy faces of the older fellas, the linemen after, guys socializing, talking to fellas that they were played against years ago in first division cricket. Actually, my tournament was a franchise system. So we were opposition back then. We were actually teammates today because you could get picked on the same team with me.
Yes.
So that brings a lot of closeness now with those guys as well. And then obviously continue then into the local cricket. As you say, I have my son playing. He's presently at Pitt. He went through the ranks on the 15s, on the 17s, on the 19s, to the West Indies on the 19s World Cup. He's still active in the cricket. Actually got hurt after the finals at Kensington when Pitt played Wildy.
Wildy, yes.
We actually thought scored that much, but he had a hand injury there and he pretty much shut down for the balance of the year. And having him playing, and I could be on the same field with him sometimes in games, but not for the same clubs, but maybe friendly games or touring. I think it will help encourage him as well. So I think a son having a father being there and still active, I'm not playing out of pity. I could represent my place, so That encouraging too. I mean, sometimes he practice here at BNOC with us, so he might want to hit me out of the park, and I could prove that he doesn't. So that competitive nature brings out the best in him to improve his cricket as well.
Well, you've come to BNOC having gone through the school system, and the actual organization of itself, I believe, would lend some support when it comes to the local cricket. How has that been?
Yeah, it's quite it's quite interesting to move from cable and wireless to BNOC. The transition was I'd say fairly seamless, in that we were welcome here, and we did quite well. Second division, I think in the third year we would have won the division and got promoted, and so. But as most clubs, it is a struggle in terms with finances. The makeup too of the team, trying to get youngsters. I think the COVID period really did the same. We really had a plan there in terms of going further to first division. We had like the youngsters, Antonio Morris, Shamar Ford, Renaco Smith, those were coming across from foundation, and we had a plan to get them to help us, and then COVID hit. So basically we lost those youngsters. There's some others that came in that we're trying to work with now. We got a young Rashawn Ramsey and so, but Rashawn, they have the Pins, Tyrell, Tyreek, Wayne Reedy, some other youngsters who are working in the intermediate. We got pretty close to qualifying this year. Then the rain on that last day, yeah. really did send there. Still have a couple senior players that played the intermediate, like Ronnie Giddens, and myself. But the company has helped us, and the company itself is going through some changes. So hopefully, those changes will continue. It will be in a positive way to help push the club, because we really would like this club to shine and to go further in the cricket, to probably go to like first and elite level at some point in time.
That's wonderful news to hear, because as you said earlier, the intermediate narrowly missing out. The second division, I believe, is at the playoff side of the competition for this year. But BNOC of itself, you playing this experienced and critical role, where do you hope to be, let's say, 5 years from now?
5 years. This is BNOC club.
As an organization.
Yeah, as an organization, and a club, we wish to be seen as like one of the forefront, especially in the community. There, as I say, is a club that we have to do some work on. Right now, we have Domino's. It's part of our history from inception. I heard at one time we had darts at the beginning, but the Domino's team has done well, especially in 2022, where they got promoted from second division to first division. So we were hoping to keep adding, obviously, new talent. In other aspects, hopefully we can add in another sport or so. Trying to get more of the company members too to come out. So I would like in the 5 years to see the club as an organization grow much bigger, the sports club, to be able to incorporate more of the community as well, so that you can be seen when you hear BNOC, you know that is one of the better and bigger clubs in Barbados.
And finally, Brian, you've played cricket for more than 3 decades. You personally, do you have any ambitions of becoming part of the coaching or the administration of BNOC in the future?
Yes, going forward, I would love to. It is quite a commitment, and time-wise, it have me a bit, trying to deal with home and the club too. Yes. So, but in the future, yes, I would like to play a more important part in helping the youngsters. I think one of the things that we have to do is to incorporate a junior program. That definitely will help the club to expand. And then also they help the youngsters as well. Hopefully we'll be able to produce a couple of Barbados or West Indian cricketers, that would have their grassroots in BNOC.
Well, I want to wish you and the club all the very best. We are approaching Christmas 2024, and after hopefully a successful second division playoff game, we wish you all the very best in 2025.
Yeah, thanks on that. On that note, I wish the second division all the best this weekend. Hopefully, we can bring home the cup to St. Philip.
Wonderful.
All right, thank you very much. All right.